You can continue to enjoy all the live action of the NBA Finals on ABS-CBN Channel 2 and on SNA Channel 23. And on us and on Sky Cable, the NBA Finals can also be seen live and in HD on ABS-CBN HD Channel 167 and SNA HD Channel 166. 14-0 na ang record ng Warriors sa playoffs. Matatalo pa kaya sila ng Cavaliers? Adrian Dy, ano masasabi mo dito?
Wow, hard question na kaagad. I think some people at the start of the series may nagsasabi na kaagad na baka sweep to for fo-fo. Pero as the series has progressed, it's becoming more and more likely. We've seen the way that the Cavs have played. They're putting up good scoring efforts, pero on defense, medyo kulang pa rin eh. Trying to stop Curry and Durant at the same time has really proved difficult for them. And so, you know, maybe going back home, hopefully it changes things for them so that they can extend the series to beyond 4 games.
Why did Kyrie struggle in this game? Ano yung nakita mo?
I think it's just the defense ng Golden State. They have so much length and they're more prepared for him as compared to last season. I think the only time na Irving was able to get on track was when na-ISO siya against Ian Clark on back-to-back possessions. He was able to look like the old Kyrie. But then, if there were any other defender, if it was Klay Thompson, if it was Andre Iguodala, minsan nga, Kevin Durant, he looked helpless. And with that kind of wingspan on defense, I can't blame him.
When we look at teams, the first thing we're going to see are the stars. And Golden State has 4 stars. The Cavs have 3. And in this game, all 4 of them played well.
Right.
Nagising na si Klay Thompson with 22 points, 4 out of 7 from beyond the arc. Pero yung isa sa mga stars ng Cavaliers, si Kyrie Irving nga, nagkulang sa opensa. If all 3 of them click, do you think there's a chance na makaisa sila kontra sa Golden State?
Well, hopefully, you kind of, yun yung sort of yung gusto mo because when they formed that big 3, that was their hope na they'd have 3 players who would be able to click at the same time. Pero I think mas realistic na one of those bench guys for the Cavs will be able to have a big game. Baka Kyle Korver will be able to get on track. Baka J.R. Smith is able to break out of his slump. Pero in terms of the Warriors, like kanina nga, Draymond Green was in foul trouble for really long stretches. So even though when he was on the court, he was able to be productive, he spent more time on the bench, actually, when you think about it. So the Warriors still have an extra gear, whereas the Cavaliers are kind of hoping that they have one more extra gear in them.
How big was Steve Kerr returning to the bench today?
Siguro sa morale ng team, it was a big deal. Pero when you look at the way that Coach Mike Brown was handling the team prior, I mean, they were undefeated. And Coach Kerr was even joking before na, no, actually, they're angry at Coach Brown. May ganyan asaran. Pero when you look at the way they executed with Kerr and without Kerr, they were still being able to do their jobs and steamrolling opposition. So in this game, I think siguro the only time it came into play was yun nga, when Draymond was in foul trouble, he made a decision to go to Durant at the 5, and that paid dividends for them.
Sinabi mo sa akin na kanina na maybe moving back to Cleveland will turn the tide. Nakita nga natin kanina na kahit walang laro in the Cleveland arena, punong-puno.
Right.
Maraming nanonood, all the fans are there. So kitang-kita yung suporta sa kupunan ng Cavaliers. And I'm sure LeBron can't wait to get back there. The entire team can't wait to get back in front of their home fans. Now, aside from the support, the overwhelming support from the city of Cleveland, ano pa ang nakikita mong pwedeng gawin ng kupunan para makakuha ng isang panalo dito sa seryeng to?
Well, I thought it was interesting na before Game 2, sinabi ni Coach Lou na they still want to play an up-tempo kind of game. And so we saw that sa start, they were able to get out to a nice start. But then hindi nila na-sustain. And towards the end of the game, mukhang napagod na si LeBron James. So I think the adjustment when they go back home to Cleveland is to sort of try to play with a slower pace. Maybe get LeBron James at the post more often. Maybe try to feed Kevin Love in the post. Alternately, what they can kind of do is sort of say, oh, wag na tayo mag-defense. Let's try to get into a shootout. So they can start Channing Frye, for example, and just play more lineups na it's LeBron James surrounded by 4 shooters. Siguro yan yung dalawang alternatives nila. They can try to either slow it down or try to really push the tempo and get more 3-point shooting and see if maybe the math works out in their favor.
So, tingin mo kaya nilang manalo if it comes to that? Shootout. You bring in out the shooters in a Channing Frye and a Kyle Korver, switch it up. Kaya ba nilang sabayan pagdating sa shooting itong Golden State?
Siguro yan yung hope nila because role players traditionally have played better at home. And so we've seen in these first 2 games now, while the Cavs are on the road, guys like Kyle Korver, Deron Williams, J.R. Smith, they all have been shooting poorly. So if they go home and it turns out that they can shoot better, whereas the Golden State Warriors role players shoot worse, in that case, siguro, they might be able to steal a game or 2. But then, as we've seen in these games, like when you get Kevin Durant hot, when you get Stephen Curry hot, it's really such a hard time to trying to stop them.
May nakikita ka bang posibleng kahinaan dito sa kupunan ni Coach Steve Kerr, and kung ano man yon, how can the Cavs attack that?
Well, it's still their same problem na they're a very turnover-prone team. As we saw in Game 1, they only had 4 turnovers, which was matching an NBA record. But in this game, the first half, they had 13 na kaagad. They were able to tighten it up at the break. They only had 7 more after the intermission. So, but if you're the Cavaliers, a lot of those turnovers were by the Warriors. They caused them themselves. The Cavaliers didn't try to force, or weren't able to successfully force a lot of those turnovers. If they can do that in Game 3 or Game 4, get LeBron James out on the break more, that might lead to a win or 2.
I remember nag-usap tayo, Adrian, a day before the NBA Finals. We were talking about what could possibly happen dito sa seryeng ito, and we both gave our personal predictions for this series. At ang sinabi mo sa akin, you were very confident. Sinabi mo, Golden State in 5.
Right.
As in, you didn't blink an eye when you told me that. So, are you adjusting your prediction to a sweep, or you're sticking with that, GSW in 5?
Well, I still think when you have a LeBron James-led team, it feels super unlikely that they can get swept. James is just such a transcendent player. You have to believe that going back home to Cleveland, they can steal a win or 2. I'm still sticking to Warriors in 5, pero as we've mentioned, you know, a sweep, it's not unrealistic. In fact, it looks a lot more possible now, and let's see if the Cavaliers can have it in them to sort of throw that prediction out.
Sad but possible.
Yeah.
Kasi,
unless you're a Warriors fan.
Matatapos na, like you.
I didn't say that either.
Hey, just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Adrian, thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates, and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.